What if I can show you a way to eliminate your cell phone bill forever? Would that interest you? Good, because I can. Introducing To Hell with Cell, a free training course regarding the technological migration from using a cellular phone to using an internet phone. You see, there's a new I in iPhone, and it's called an internet phone. Music, movies, and TV have already migrated to the internet, and now it's time we migrate our phones, as using an internet phone is free. All of us can simply migrate to an internet phone, eliminating our expensive cell phone bill forever. My name is Bo Lockwood, and I'm like many of us average Americans, growing up on the higher end of blue collar, living a free and fun childhood and teenage years. I invite you to check out my website, bolockwood.com, to learn more about me. What I'd like you to know about me is that an aspect of my life purpose is to be a catalyst for a technological migration from cell phone usage to internet phone usage. Out with the old, in with the new. The cell phone industry is the first. There will be others. My intention is to help wean America off its addictive dependency on cell phone service, much the same way Europe is now weaning from its dependency on Russian oil and gas. The world is changing, and it's time we change with it, doing so from a state of boldness and confidence, and not out of reactive fear. I have created an amazing free internet phone system for myself. It even has with it integrated cellular service backup to use when an internet connection is unavailable and an urgent call needs to be made. By the time I was done creating this wonderful internet phone system, I realized how beneficial it will be by having so many other people using the iPad as an internet phone in a similar way that I am. With this excitement, I gladly share it with you. Making the change to an internet phone will change you. Before long, you are experiencing greater privacy, space, and peace. I use my internet phone as my primary phone anytime I'm in an internet area. Then I use cellular service for urgent calls that must be made during times when an internet connection is unavailable. It works great, so I'm sharing for free how to set one up for yourself and your family. You may be thinking, what is a free internet phone? Well, very simply, it's an iPad or iPhone that communicates through the internet and not through the use of cell phone towers. Most people don't realize that a Wi-Fi signal connecting us to the internet can replace the use of cell towers. So can connecting through satellites. Their low awareness keeps them using cell phone service even when they have internet connectivity a large percentage of the time. And since you are now aware of this truth, you now have an option to choose to migrate to an internet phone. Please know that this kick-ass internet phone system has helped to transform my life, and by doing it with me, I know it can help you do it too. The foundation of this internet phone system is Google Voice. They offer free internet phone calls through their VoIP system. VoIP stands for Voice over Internet Protocol. In other words, the phone call is connected through the internet and not through the use of cell phone towers. A Google Voice number and account are free. When I went to set up my first internet phone back in 2017, I quickly discovered how difficult it can be. I had to piece together the solution. Nothing this hard will ever go viral. Therefore, I decided to create a step-by-step training course teaching people how to set up a free internet phone system. The course is easy to follow, and all of it is free. The internet phone is free, and the training course is free. To be clear, my intention is for this video to go viral, as I'm being called to help all of us Americans wake up. If you feel inspired to share this with others, then please do so, and I am very grateful. I figure the easiest way to have this inevitable migration to go viral now is to make it free. Besides, you don't know me, nor do I know you. Though what I do know is that I've created a kick-ass internet phone system and I want to share it with you for free. For those of you who may be thinking that something free doesn't have any value, well, I'm inviting you to think again. This technical migration from cell phone to internet phone is why I came here to Earth. For me, this isn't about money. This is about migration. My purpose is migration. The money is a byproduct of my efforts, not the focus. Regardless, I live my life by giving first, then receiving. It took me countless hours to create this wonderful new internet phone system, and by doing it on an iPad, I find it to be way more useful than using a smaller smartphone. I manage my entire life through my iPad, as I've made it my personal command station with everything that I need at my fingertips. Since I am living this simplified way, you can too. If you want to register for free for the To Hell with Cell training course, then go to our website, tohellwithcell.com. On the home page are red buttons taking you directly to where you need to register for free. Before you go, please know this about the To Hell with Cell training course. To Hell with Cell is made in the USA for the USA, meaning you must be physically located in the United States at the time you set up your free internet phone. And once it's set up, you can use it anywhere in the world there is an internet connection, excluding any government-restricted areas. Also, To Hell with Cell is broken into 5 parts. Part 1 is free, which teaches you how to set up a free internet phone, along with an option to have unlimited domestic cellular service for $5 a month to use during times when an internet connection is unavailable. The remaining 4 parts are totally optional. Each part is a standalone course, and each part has an investment of $80. All of the parts build upon one another, helping students become wise and successful entrepreneurs, creating a new life of freedom and prosperity. In Part 1, we set up your free internet phone, and when you're excited to learn more, then some of you will go on to Part 2, which is when we expand the power of your internet phone, creating it to become your personalized command station. We then expand its power again by creating it to become your free internet phone system that the whole family uses. In Part 3, we offer you freedom from tech addiction, which robs many of us of our time, focus, and energy. In Part 4, we teach you how to start your own internet phone business, as you will have the knowledge, experience, and wisdom of setting up internet phones, so you'll be in high demand in setting up customers on internet phones too. And in Part 5, you will discover the wonders of simplistic living, creating a life of freedom and prosperity. For those of you who are ready to get started, go to our website, tohellwithcell.com. For those of you who are interested in learning about the 11 key discoveries as to why this migration from cell phones to internet phones is inevitable, then stay tuned. Over the next several minutes, I have some thoughts I'd like to share with you in order to increase your awareness about why making the change from a cellular phone to an internet phone is timely and necessary. Simply know this migration is not going to happen. It's already happening, much like the migration to electric and driverless vehicles. Please know that most of my thoughts are based on the research that was necessary for the creation of this course. I'm simply sharing with you what we've learned along the way. I also share with you my own personal conclusion. So, over the next few minutes, there's no need to take notes or do anything. Just take a deep breath in, let it out, relax into that calm space, and simply listen to what I'm about to say. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, the average American spends 93% of their life indoors. 87% of their life is inside buildings, then another 6% of our life in automobiles. That's only 7% of our entire lives outdoors. That's only 1/2 of 1 day per week outdoors. And what's even crazier is that this research was conducted pre-COVID, so we can safely assume these staggering percentages are even greater now. So if the average American is spending over 93% of their time indoors, then chances are what they're paying around $70 a month for is cellular service for the less than 7% of the time they are not in an internet area. In other words, around $70 a month for cell phone coverage during the 7% of the time they are unable to connect to the internet. When I came across this American fact is when I instantly realized that paying for cellular service is a total waste of money. As of this very instance, Americans are paying over $170 billion a year for cell phone coverage, which is a staggering amount to pay for such little service. In addition to the expense, cell phone towers and cell phones themselves are known to be harmful, while the cell phone industry has gone to great lengths to bury damaging and revealing research. And the cell phone industry has also fueled the emergence of tech addiction, as millions of people are literally addicted to their phones. When we become aware of these realities, we realize that cell phone towers and cell phones themselves are expensive, harmful, and no longer needed. Cell phone technology is obsolete technology. It's time we migrate to the internet, having internet phones as the new way to personally communicate. And by doing so, the $170 billion that would otherwise go to the cell phone companies now remains in the pockets of American consumers. By voting with our dollars, we don't need anyone outside of ourselves. No laws have to be passed. We don't need permission. All that we're doing is totally legal. All is good. When we make the change to an internet phone, our behavior changes, and then the dollars follow the new behavior. So, in this instance, the average American who makes the change to an internet phone, eliminating their cell phone bill forever, keeps the $70 in their pocket. This is behavioral economics. By doing the research necessary for the creation of this course, I made 11 key discoveries, which led to my own personal conclusion that the cell phone industry is an unethical industry that simply needs to go to hell. I feel so strongly about this, it's what prompted me to create this course. Those great people who will ultimately lose their jobs due to the demise of the cell phone industry are able to reinvent themselves by co-creating the new internet phone industry. Again, out with the old, in with the new. Firstly, I discovered that the cell phone industry is fueled by greed that continually exploits its customers through confusing promotional plans, gimmicks, impossible to understand contract terms, early termination fees, excess usage fees, cramming, and even profiteering, which is defined as generating excess and unfair profit. Secondly, I discovered that it's an industry fueled by data mining, exploiting our personal information by selling our information for big bucks, in which we earn none of it. I learned through a YouTube interview with Joe Rogan and Edward Snowden a few key things. I learned that there is an intentionally designed, concealed legal paradigm about how records collected about us do not belong to us. So as far as data collection goes, nobody has a privacy right so long as the information being collected is owned by the collector. I learned that in this distorted legal paradigm, it's not the data that is being manipulated and exploited, it's people being manipulated and exploited. And I learned that as far as changing the legal system and big data industry goes, we can't awaken someone who's pretending to be asleep. From what I've gathered in all my research is that the only true way to avoid or at least minimize personal data collection is to completely disconnect from the use of the internet and electronic banking. Interesting. A challenging question to consider. In this new electronic world, we must unite as one through voting with our dollars. No fighting, no struggle, simply and easily migrating to the next evolution of communication by migrating to an internet phone. The third discovery I made is how the cell phone industry has created an ocean of harmful radio frequency waves, creating potential health problems, including headaches, memory loss, cardiovascular stress, low sperm count, birth defects, and even cancer. And regardless of whether you even use a cell phone, if you live within a quarter mile to a cell phone antenna or tower, you may be at risk of serious harm to your health. A German study found that cancer rates more than tripled among people living within 400 meters of cell phone towers or antennas. Those within 100 meters were exposed to radiation at 100 times normal levels. An Israeli study found risk of cancer quadrupled among people living within 350 meters of a cell phone transmitter, and 7 out of 8 cancer victims were women. Both studies focused only on people who had lived at the same address for many years. There are literally hundreds of peer-reviewed scientific studies by non-biased scientists from all around the world that show these harmful health problems. And the studies found that the closer people lived to these cell towers, the higher amounts of these medical conditions occurred. Because of this, scientists from around the world are writing letters to their governments calling for a halt to the rollout of the new 5G technology. 5G frequencies don't travel as far, so they are estimating that cities will need a mini cell tower every 2 to 8 houses. 2G, 3G, and 4G cell phone and Wi-Fi technologies transmit using frequencies between 800 MHz and 6 GHz. The 5G, 5th generation technology is said to use frequencies between about 24 GHz and possibly up to 300 GHz. That means that 5G frequencies are at least 4 times to 50 times more powerful than 2G, 3G, and 4G frequencies, and remain in the non-ionizing portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. An expert by the name of Kevin Modis from the U.S. Brain Tumor Association has said that within these non-ionizing portions of the electromagnetic spectrum, the higher the frequency, the more dangerous it is to living organisms. Even so, there's a lot of contradicting research validating that EMF radiation is non-ionizing, therefore harmless to humans. So I suggest to do your own research to arrive at your own conclusion. There are clickable links to articles that I found useful in the Other Helpful Links section of the training manual, which you will download in Part 1 of the course. Included is a link to the 8 best ways to protect your home from EMF radiation. The one area of research where I'm not seeing any contradiction is the fact that the energy that one is exposed to while holding a cell phone to the head is far greater than one is exposed to when in the vicinity of a cell phone tower. This is why we are encouraging you to not only eliminate your cell phone bill forever, but also eliminate the use of a cell phone forever too, replacing it with an iPad instead. When using the iPad as a phone, you don't hold it to your ear. Rather, the internal speaker and microphone work really well, and if you want more privacy, then use either an air tube or wired headset. The cost of an iPad is around half the cost of an iPhone. Many people have a smartphone and a laptop computer. If your computer needs are basic, then you don't need both. Rather, set up an iPad as a phone and a laptop computer, simplifying your life to only one device. The fourth discovery I made about why the migration to internet phones is inevitable are safety concerns. 26% of all motor vehicle crashes are related to the use of cell phones. So based on this fact alone, especially if you have teenage children, then making the switch to an internet phone is an emotionally grounded and rationally sound decision. Keeping our kids safe is paramount. Unfortunately though, each day 11 teens die in crashes caused by texting and driving. 2.3 million people in the U.S. are injured or disabled by car crashes every year. More than 330,000 of these crashes are caused by texting and driving. Even so, some people still want internet access in their car, perhaps to keep the kids entertained by playing online video games or watching movies. Many new cars come with Wi-Fi internet technology, and if your car doesn't already have Wi-Fi, you can add Wi-Fi equipment to most vehicles manufactured after 1996. At the time of creating this course, Wi-Fi plans for vehicles were as low as $10 per month. When traveling in a car, I use my iPad primarily for GPS navigation, and if I need to make a call or check my text or email messages, I simply pull over and take a break from driving. Small changes can add up to a lot. The fifth discovery is that cell phone 2G and 3G networks are shut down, being shut down, or will be shutting down in 2022. Cell phone companies are forcing 2G and 3G cell phone users to upgrade, a great example of planned obsolescence. A response to the cell phone industry forcing Americans to upgrade to 4G and 5G technology is to not participate. Rather, set up a free internet phone system using an iPad instead. In other words, if you have an older 2G or 3G phone and need to upgrade, don't. Rather, invest your money into a new iPad 9th generation with a SIM card slot, which is around $600, significantly less expensive than the new iPhone 13, ranging in price from $1,100 to $1,600 depending on storage. In Part 1, we help you decide which devices to use and possibly buy. It's best to buy directly from Apple in case you need support, and to ensure that it is automatically unlocked, as you cannot set up an internet phone on a locked device. This is exactly what I've done, and I'm so glad that I made the change. I got rid of the daily use of my cell phone, fully embracing my new lifestyle of an iPad internet phone system while never paying another cell phone bill again. The sixth discovery I made is that by changing my lifestyle to a new iPad internet phone system also helped me to eliminate my dependency on using a cell phone. Tech addiction is an addictive behavior that the cell phone industry helped to create. Tech addiction steals our focus and attention, as you will learn more about in Part 3, Freedom from Tech Addiction. Tech addiction has many of our children glued to their cell phone, endless texting, gaming, and social media, fueling the anxiety levels of our kids without them realizing the cause, their cell phone. However, children are not the only tech addicts, as adults are addicted too. Tech addiction is a societal problem that each of us can cure on our own. According to 2020 research conducted by reviews.org, on average, Americans check their phones 262 times per day. That's once every 5.5 minutes. And what's also interesting is that 83% of Americans feel uneasy leaving their phone at home. 80% of Americans say they check their phones within 10 minutes of waking up. 54% of Americans say they panic when their cell phone battery goes below 20%. 52% of Americans say that they've never gone more than 24 hours without their cell phone. And 43% of Americans say their cell phone is their most valuable possession. So for me, when I became aware that Americans spend over 90% of our days indoors, obviously using our cell phones, I arrived at two conclusions. Number one, since I'm indoors a lot, then there's no need for cell phone tower usage because I can simply connect my smartphone to the internet through a Wi-Fi signal, eliminating my cell phone bill forever. This is what I've done, and I haven't paid a cell phone bill in over 3 years. Number two, When I saw my addictive cell phone patterns, I decided to break my habits by establishing new lifestyle boundaries, such as only checking my messages once a day at the most, getting rid of my cell phone and replacing it with an iPad, while spending most of my days outdoors in nature. Making these simple lifestyle changes has made a huge difference in my life. Let's put it this way, I will never go back to using a cell phone as my primary phone. I will never pay a cell phone company for service I no longer need. And I'm committed to a new lifestyle of spending most of my days outdoors. In addition to breaking free from cell phone addiction, eliminating the use of a physical cell phone is also better for my health, as the continued use of holding a cell phone close to my ear is known to cause brain cancer. If you refer to the owner's manual of your cell phone, it's sure to contain legal language bringing this reality to the consumer's attention. Chances are this language is contained in the fine print towards the back of the manual. The cell phone industry has done a great job disguising the harmful effects of cell phone tower radiation and cell phone usage radiation. For me, I use my iPad to make phone calls, listening and speaking through the internal mic and speakers, or I use a wired headset during times when I want greater privacy. I do not use Wi-Fi or Bluetooth headphones because of the harmful frequency waves they emit into my brain by wearing them. The seventh discovery is that our physical movements are traced by the use of our smartphones, iPads, and tablets. Every time we connect with the internet or make a call from our cell phone, our connection to the internet and through the cell phone towers gets recorded, and this information can be accessed to trace our whereabouts. Smartphones, iPads, and tablets are not necessarily turned off when powered off. The only way to be sure it is actually turned off is by removing the battery, in which many devices, including the iPad, the battery is sealed, making it very difficult to remove. Every device has an IMEI number, which gets registered with your name when you activate the device. Every device also has an IMSI number, which is the SIM card number that uniquely identifies every user of a cellular network. Since you activated the SIM card, it too is registered in your name. When we use our devices by connecting to the internet, we can be traced to a particular point, similar to when we make a credit card purchase or ATM withdrawal. It's another crumb on the electronic breadcrumb trail. The bottom line of not being traced is to be sure to remove your battery from your device, if possible. Yet know that once you power back up and make a call or surf the net, your whereabouts are instantly known again, as your movement is reflected by the movement of your device. And if removing the battery is not possible, your only other option that I'm aware of is to no longer use the device, or set the device up by using a fictitious name. If you like the fictitious name idea, know that you will not be able to make any online purchases using this device. Otherwise, it can be traced back to you. The reason why this fictitious name idea will work is because once you have your new free iPad internet phone set up, there are no ongoing payments necessary, so no credit card, debit card, or other online payment merchant is required. A great workaround is to have an iPad set up and registered in your name, which you primarily use when at home in the office, and then have a second iPad under a fictitious name to use when traveling. We teach you how to do this in Part 2. Otherwise, just know that as long as I'm using my registered device, I am electronically being traced. Therefore, others who have access to this tracking information can determine my whereabouts. The eighth discovery I made is regarding 911 calling. A stumbling block to setting up a free internet phone is access to 911, since Wi-Fi internet phones are considered VoIP phones. VoIP is an acronym for Voice over Internet Protocol, which is a phone service that utilizes the internet instead of traditional phone lines and cell towers to send and receive signals. Our national 911 emergency call service works through landlines and cell phone towers, but not the internet. Therefore, VoIP phones cannot call 911. However, I discovered a federal law that requires cell phone carriers to continue to have 911 cellular calling available on inactive SIM cards. This means that when you cancel your cell phone service, you will still be able to call 911 from your phone, so long as the phone has the inactive SIM card in it and you didn't port or transfer your phone number. Keep in mind, this no longer applies to the 2G and 3G networks that are being shut down. Discovering this, I decided to store my cell phone with the inactive SIM card in the glove compartment of my car in case I ever need to call 911. I then purchased an iPad with a SIM card slot, setting up a free internet phone with urgent call cellular service in order to call family, friends, doctors, and businesses if an urgent call needs to be made and an internet signal is unavailable. This leads directly to the 9th discovery, which is how to set up unlimited domestic cellular service for $5 a month. We teach you how to do this in part 1. I also discovered a way to convert my iPad into a mini laptop computer with plenty of external storage. I only use 2 devices, my iPad and my iMac mini. No need for a laptop. And I'm in the process of phasing out my iMac mini, working exclusively from and through my iPad. The 10th discovery is the explosive growth of Wi-Fi hotspots over the past 5 years, as well as Elon Musk launching Starlink, providing internet access through satellites. By combining the explosive growth of Wi-Fi and satellite internet connectivity, properly aligns the timing for this migration from cellular to internet phones to occur with grace and ease. Partly because setting up a free internet phone on an unlocked device is also free. And just so we're clear, there are no hidden fees or gotchas that will appear later in this course. There are some inexpensive options, yet none of them are required. So making the change from a cellular phone to an internet phone has never been this easy. Technology has improved, apps have improved, and access to the internet has exploded. This training program has been in the making for quite some time. I started researching it in 2017, then got distracted and returned to creating it during COVID. Back in 2017, Comcast Xfinity had over 500,000 free Wi-Fi hotspots across the U.S., and in a few short years, in 2019, had over 19 million free Wi-Fi hotspots. I suspect that in 2022, Comcast has exceeded the 20 million mark. This goes to show you how much Wi-Fi has grown in just the past few years. 40 times growth in about 5 years' time. That's an average of 8 times growth per year. Xfinity is only one example, but is reflective of the explosive growth of Wi-Fi over the past few years. Pull into any McDonald's, Wendy's, Panera Bread, or Pep Boys and simply connect to Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is everywhere, so long as we look. In addition, Elon Musk's company SpaceX has launched a service known as Starlink. Starlink is a satellite internet constellation operated by SpaceX, providing satellite internet access coverage to 29 countries on Earth, with ambition to extend coverage to the whole world. Starlink internet service is currently available for open beta testing and was originally planned to launch its service publicly in October 2021. Due to various setbacks, including losing 40 newly launched satellites in a solar storm, Starlink remains in beta with no new date for the service's official launch. As of March 2022, the cost of connecting to the internet via Starlink satellite is set at $110 per month, plus the one-time hardware fee for Starlink's receiver dish is $599. The point is, because of this explosive growth, the time has come to make the switch from a cellular phone to an internet phone, eliminating your cell phone bill forever. And the 11th discovery is the realization that America has never been truly unified as one country. At our core, American society is constructed on foundations of separation. This way, separating a crowd is easier to control. However, this technological migration represents an opportunity for 99% of America to connect as one collective buying group, regaining our control of power. Unity is the answer to many of our problems, EMF radiation included. When we vote with our dollars, then we vote to make the change to an internet phone. By changing our behaviors, the economics change too, having whatever portion of $170 billion remaining in the pockets of American consumers. As internet coverage increases, cellular use decreases, a natural pattern of people migrating to internet phones. This is no different than when we migrated from 8-track to cassette tapes, and then from cassette tapes to CDs and DVDs, and now MP3 and MP4 digital files. The key is to stop feeding the cell phone industry monster by eliminating your expensive monthly cell phone bill through replacing it with a free internet phone system. To migrate now, go to our website, tohellwithcell.com, and click on the red button to be directed to where you can register for free. Also, in May 2022, I set out on a coast-to-coast to coast motorcycle journey, building awareness for the harmful effects of cell tower EMF radiation. I'm documenting my adventure on my blog, alwaysbebold.com. I started this journey in Florida, rode north to Pennsylvania, then from Ocean City, New Jersey, I'm now heading west to the Pacific Coast, then down the Pacific Coast Highway from Seattle to San Diego, then returning home along the Southern Belt. I'm like Johnny Appleseed, meeting new people as I go, spreading our To Hell with Cell quest cards wherever I go, a true grassroots effort. I invite you to be a contributor to this migration. Contributing may include providing some cash for gas, food, lodging, and supplies. I'm good either way, though additional contributions will help to fund the extension of my trip, enabling me to continue the grassroots progress that I am making. And I want you to know that 100% of the dollars contributed will go directly into fueling this migration to internet phones. None will be used for personal expenses outside of traveling. Contributions can be sent to contribute@tohellwithcell.com via PayPal, or go to our website, tohellwithcell.com, and click on the green button, enabling you to contribute this way too. Contributing may also include taking inspired action by migrating to an internet phone. When we Americans collectively vote with our dollars, we harness the collective energy to change marketplace dynamics. Collaborating as one unified America, we must stop being divided by politics, gender, skin color, nationality, age, and economic status. It's time for us American consumers to act collectively, taking back our power from these oppressive companies. Yet, we will achieve this not by fighting, but by changing. When we simply change our behaviors, then our financial decisions and dollars change too. We vote with our dollars. This is known as behavioral economics. Contributing may also include becoming an affiliate marketer, helping us to sell this course. And contributing may also include becoming a wise and successful entrepreneur, starting your own internet phone business. Many people will need your help in getting them set up on an internet phone of their own. As mentioned, Americans are paying over $170 billion a year for cell phone service that is becoming increasingly obsolete. By simply changing our behaviors from cell to internet, we vote with our dollars, no longer feeding this cell phone monster our money, having it burn in hell. And the lost jobs in the cell phone industry won't necessarily be lost, rather regenerated, having them replaced by the demand for internet phones that the migration will create. America and Americans must reinvent ourselves. It's time we unite as one America, taking back our power from the greedy, power-seeking 1%. Us 99% are way more powerful, assuming we unite. Are you ready to unite?